The Glenelg River overflowed its banks on September 11, flooding part of the town of Casterton, Victoria, and causing residents to be evacuated. According to a local report, footage from local politician Emma Keeley shows the flooding by a bridge on the edge of the town. Credit Facebook. Emma Keel. Heading into the third week of spring, Victorians will cop wintry days and massive rainfall. It rained across the state the whole weekend, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Bureau of Meteorology senior forecaster Michael Efron said don't expect to see a dry day this week. And if you thought the weekend was bad, it's only going to get worse. The Bureau has already issued about 10 flood warnings and there could be more in the coming days, especially tomorrow when heavy rainfalls are predicted across the state. The Glenelg River is a major concern at the moment, with moderate to major flooding occurring. More rain expected today could cause more problems in the area. On Sunday morning the river peaked at about 6 meters at Casterton in Victoria's west. The ABC reported Coleraine in the state's west had 12 homes impacted, while 2 others in Casterton area were affected by the heavy rain. Some residents were forced to leave their home and a milk tanker driver was trapped in floodwater and had to be rescued by boat. Glenelg Shire Councillor Karen Stevens told the ABC roads were ruined or underwater and it would an issue for children getting to school. They may have to get their boats out, she said. Mr. Efron said those living around Bendigo in central Victoria would be next to cop heavy rainfall. That part of the state has largely missed the rain and has been dry over the last 12 hours or so, he said. But with the rain coming in tonight, they could pick up around 20 to 30 millimeters overnight and into Tuesday. We already have flood warnings out for some of the rivers in that area, so the rain could cause some problems through there. Over the weekend, Mount William in the Grampian Ranges in Victoria's southwest got 75 millimeters of rain, and Hamilton, in Victoria's west, was dumped with about 70 millimeters of rain. The rain in the state at the moment is fairly light, but over the past 12 hours there has been about 10 millimeters of rainfall across southwestern Victoria. We are likely to see further rainfall over the next 2 or 3 days across much of Victoria. Quote, Mr. Efron said, it looks like the rainfall will increase over northwestern Victoria later tonight and will spread south over southern Victoria as we head into the early hours of Tuesday. Tonight, Tuesday and Wednesday will be the wettest days, and Mr. Efron said heading into Thursday only light showers were predicted. Along with heavy rainfalls, Victorians are also shivering through cold, wintry temperatures. Melburnians especially are pulling their coats back out after they got a glimpse of sunny, warm weather last week. Today a maximum of 13°C is predicted in the city, and Mr. Efron said the temperatures were about 4°C below average for this time of year. Tomorrow temperatures will reach just 14°C with up to 20 millimeters of rain predicted in the city. It will start to warm up slightly towards the end of the week, with temperatures reaching 17°C. Across Victoria, there are final flood warnings for Broken River, Severn and Castle Creeks and the Werribee River at Ballan. There are minor flood warnings in place for the Avoca River, Kiowa River, Loddon River, Murray River upstream of Lake Hume, Ovens and King Rivers and the Snowy River. Mr. Efron said warnings could change as more rain hits, and the Victoria State Emergency Service has urged Victorians to prepare for heavy rain. Says Chief Officer of Operations Trevor White said people needed to take care of themselves and listen to emergency warnings. There are some ways to prepare yourself, your home, your family and your business for flood events. He said, it's important that people on the roads drive to conditions and be aware of road hazards such as mud, debris, damaged roads and bridges. Never drive through floodwater. It only takes about 15 centimeters of water to lose control of your vehicle. We also urge people not to play, swim, walk, or ride through floodwater. It's toxic and dangerous. Mr. White said people in a home at risk of flooding should move their belongings to tables, benches or beds, and farmers are told to move their livestock to higher ground. Victoria is being battered more than any other state this week, but flooding from last week will continue to inconvenience some in South Australia. About 10,000 properties, mostly on Eyre Peninsula and the state's west coast, lost power last Thursday due to crazy storms and heavy rains sweeping across the state. The State Emergency Service responded to about 175 calls for help, mostly for water damage. In Adelaide, patients at the Burnside War Memorial Hospital's maternity ward had to be evacuated because of flooding, and a lift flooded at St Andrew's Medical Centre in the CBD. The city had more than 30 millimeters of rain. Mount Lofty had 44 millimeters. And Mount Gambier and Naracoorte each had more than 50 millimeters. Weather conditions moved into Victoria on Friday. If you require assistance during a flood or storm, call SES on 132,500. If you know your neighbors are vulnerable, check on them if it is safe to do so. If your emergency is life-threatening, call 000 with AA.